Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome into the East Bayfield Community Center for one final time in the year of 2025. Taking a lap there is number 3, Taylor Cooper, playing in her first U22 Elite game. She is a call-up from U18 AA in Aurora. I'm your host, Josh McCann, alongside my camera operator, Kingsley McPherson. We're so happy you can join us for one final game here before the Christmas break into the new year, as the Barrie Sharks look to go in to the break on a 3-game winning streak, taking on the Whitby Wolves. This is the second meeting of 2 for these two teams. First meeting came back in September, on September 27th in Whitby. It was the Wolves coming out with a 1-0 win after a goal in the third period by Cassandra Cardone. Sharks coming into this game 17-9-0, good enough for 10th place in the league. Whitby 14-11-1 in 14th. Both teams were in action yesterday. It was the Sharks with a big 10-1 victory over the Windsor Wildcats. Jenny Keller leading the way with 2 goals and 2 assists. For Whitby, they're coming off a 2-1 loss to Oakville yesterday, so they'll definitely be looking for a better performance. Mentioned, this is the final game for the Sharks. They'll take a couple weeks off and then they're back in action in the new year with a January 3rd matchup against the Oakville Hornets in Oakville, and then the first home game of 2026 comes your way on January 4th in Brampton. There's a few games going on out of town. London taking on Ridley College, Waterloo and Mississauga. Brampton is in Kingston. Bluewater taking on Etobicoke, Windsor taking on Central York, Toronto Arrows are in North York taking on the Storm, Burlington playing East Ottawa, Leaside taking on Durham West. It was a dominant effort from the Sharks yesterday from the get-go. They came out flying out of the gates. It took about 10 minutes into the period before they did get the first goal of the game, and they continued to add on, breaking out to a 3-0 lead after the first period. 2 goals for Keller, 2 goals for De Silva, a goal for Swanson, Severn, Stewart, Wallace, Meta, and Harbeck. Riley Maxwell wasn't tested much, but when she was, she played good, stopping 10 of 11. Starting lineups, first for Whitby on defense, number 6, Jasmine P, and number 8, Whitney Basso. At forward, number 24, Alexa Strano, number 79, Cassandra Cardone, and number 86, Gabriella McAlpine. In net for the Wolves will be number 1, Sadie Davidson. For the Sharks, 2 players out of the lineup today. They'll be without number 14, Abby Brumwell, number 82, Kate Stewart, as mentioned. In their place is number 3, Taylor Cooper. On defense for the Sharks, number 10, Sonia Meta, number 11, Piper 7. At forward, number 6, Sadie France, number 29, Jenny Keller, and number 91, El De Silva. In net for the Sharks is Ava Sador after Maxwell got a start yesterday. It's Ava Sador getting the start here today. Just about a minute and a half left in warm-ups, and then we'll get set for puck drop here in Barrie, Ontario. These two teams split the season series last year. The Sharks will need to win today if they want to do that again. It was a overtime victory in Whitby last year, and then the Wolves came to town and beat the Sharks 2-0. And then earlier this year it was Whitby getting the winner. Of course, last season, the first game of the championship weekend was the Sharks and Whitby taking on each other. It was a 1-0 Sharks overtime victory in that game. just about set to go here. Don't believe there are any pre-game ceremonies, so we'll get right into player introductions and the national anthem before puck drop for one final time here in the month of December.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SportCam Community Center for today's U22 Leagues matchup between the U22 Wolves and the North Junior Sharks. The officials for today's contest are lines of Red Island and the Red Seal, and the referees are Times and John Box. And now the second lineup, brought to you by today's game sponsors, here's Mike Subs. First, for the visiting Whitby Wolves. On defense, number 8. Number 6, Desmond Key. At forward, number 79, Cassandra Cardona. Number 86, Gavin Feltline. Number 24, Alexis Strano. And number 1, Sadie Davidson. And the second line for your Bear Junior Sharks. At forward, number 6, Sadie France. Number 29, Jenny Keller. Sonia Miller. Number 11, Pepper 7. And number 74, Ayla Seymour. And the rest of the Berry Junior Sharks. Ladies and gentlemen, the ties are able to move back to the playing old game.
So we're ready to get underway here from the East Bayfield Community Center. It's the Whitby Wolves coming in, losing 2 of their last 3, looking to bounce back after a loss yesterday, taking on the Barrie Sharks, who are looking to make it 3 straight wins heading into the Christmas break. In net for the Wolves, number 1, Sadie Davidson, 9-5 on the season with a .918 save percentage. In her last game, she stopped 10 of 10 last Sunday against Ridley College. For the Sharks, Ava Sador, 9-4 on the season with a .927 save percentage. She stopped 29 of 32 last weekend against Cambridge. It's Strano and France on the draw, and we are underway here at the East Bayfield Community Center. Sonia Mehta up ahead to Jenny Keller, coming off a 4-point performance yesterday. She'll send it into the Whitby end. Key plays it up the boards, flipped out to the point. Meta able to keep it in, playing it down to the corner. Grabbed there by Basso. Now played around for Key, that's broken up. De Silva centers it, nobody home. Back to the point now, Meta sends it across. Here's De Silva loose, takes the shot, blocked there by Key. Looked like that one stung. He's slowly skating ahead, trying to get a change. France gonna send it in, Sharks will head off. Keller now putting on the pressure from behind. Key up the boards, gets it out. Charette backhands it back the other way, and then Key sends it in. And she'll be able to head off on a change, but no, that's icing. So Whitby was able to get a few players off a couple seconds before the icing. Here's Winter, put out front for Wallace, that's tipped wide. And there is Belk, she'll try and send it out. Charette keeps it in, her shot blocked by Petit. Goes to the corner, Basso trying to get it out. Puck remained in for a moment, now comes out of the zone and also able to get a change. Willard up ahead for Swanson, she plays it off the boards and into the Whitby end. He'll send it ahead, Belk flex it to Petit, that's flipped in. Store out of her net, leaves it there for Charette. She'll go up the wings. Captain May Severn coming off a good performance in her 100th career game with the Barrie Junior Sharks yesterday. Willard back deflects out front. Sharks were able to get it to safety. Severn ahead for Wallace. She's trying to send it across to Severn. That's broken up by Cialtis and tipped back down the other way. Cosgrave nearly lost an edge there. She was able to play it off the boards away from Leeson. Sam Larman trying to get it out. Kept in by Mocktel. Mocktel keeping it in, playing it down behind the net. Cialtis tried to put it out front, nobody home. And the puck will come back out the other way. Bailey McAtell. Flip back to Murray. She'll play it ahead. It's intercepted by the Sharks. Severn trying to knock it free. A couple of Whitby players riding there as they were trying to make changes. Store leaves it for Cosgrave. She goes up the boards for Harbeck. She's able to tip it out the other way, and now a race for the puck between France and Clark. The two of them go into the boards battling for the puck. Puck knocked free to Cooper. Cooper trying to get it to France. Let's deflect it back. It's sent out of the zone by Cardone. Puck goes down the ice. That'll be an icing with 17:25 to go. Not a lot of chances here early on. These two teams still feeling each other out. Dive off the draw. Murray deflects it back to the point. Severn played down behind the net. Grabbed by Clark, flips it around. That's turned over. Maddie McKay back in the lineup after missing yesterday's game. She backhands it down low behind the net to France. France battling there with McAtell. Murray now trying to get it free. Cooper knocks it down. She's drawing a penalty. Sador to the bench. 6-on-5 for the Sharks. Here's Cooper. Flipped out to Meta. Sure, attacker is Winter, but the Sharks touch, that's going to be, or the Wolves touch, that's going to be head contact against Murray. And the Sharks will go to the power play. So first power play of the game for the Sharks here. Winter able to win the draw. Meta across for Severn. Severn on the point, gives to Meta. Meta to De Silva, back to the point, Meta. Meta across for Severn. Severn to Winter. Molly Winter, backhanded down low behind the net. Here's Keller. Keller goes back to the point, Severn. Severn across, here's Meta. Meta trying to go all the way to Winter. It does get there. Not able to get a shot. She goes back to the point. Severn, Winter to the middle. Keller takes the shot. That's deflected up and into the netting. A minute and a half left in the power play. Cheeks and Larman on the draw. Off the draw, Wallace deflected off of her stick and out of the zone. Charette to the middle, Swanson. Swanson back to Charette. She drops it back. Here's Swanson. Played up ahead. That's deflected and into the Whitby bench. Faceoff's going to come in front of the Shark bench here. It's kicked back. Here's Willard. Coming up the wing, maybe an opportunity here for the Sharks in the zone. Willard takes a shot, stopped by Davidson. Rebound Wallace. Up ahead, Larman. Battling for it against the boards, knocked back to the point for Charette. Larman to the middle, Charette. Finds an open Wallace, tried to put a one-timer on net. Davidson gets a piece of it. Up goes behind the net. Swanson to Larman. Back to the point, Charette. 45 seconds left on the power play. Willard, Charette, one-timer, couldn't get it. Larman now. Tried to swing it to the middle for Wallace. That's deflected around. Puck goes past Newmaster. Now in the corner, Mactel. Get it free. Larman putting it out front. That's deflected by Belk and out back the other way. Sador leaving it for Charette. Pass in the middle. That's intercepted. Murphy comes in the zone on side. Here's Leeson. Just short-handed opportunity here for Whitby. Clark sends it down behind the net. Final 10 seconds of the power play. Willard nearly turned it over, able to keep possession, but pressured by a pair of Wolves. Comes to the middle, knocked back, and sent down the ice by Basso. Murray out of the box, so the Shark power play 0 for 1 here early on. Severn to the middle, Harbeck. Trying to work around Cialtas. She gets it into the zone. Cialtas knocked off the puck, but would be able to get the puck back. Hayden Leeson sending it into the zone. Grabbed by Cosgrave and flipped out of the zone. Clark able to drop it back for Key. Asman Key up the wing, flips it in, down the length of the ice, right on net. Sador will grab it with a blocker and cover. 14:27 to go in the first period. Still looking for our first goal. Toronto and Winter on the draw. And by Winter, puck goes to the corner. Cosgrave trying to knock it free, getting it back there is Deeth. Free to Winter, she'll flip it around. Murray able to keep it in the zone. Here comes Sunil Cardone, sends it right back in. Dion backhand around to Cosgrave, turned over. Cardone trying to put it out front, that was intercepted. Back the other way, Cooper playing it ahead for McKay. McKay trying to work around Key, that's broken up, and sent back the other way. 7 across for Meta. Pass 4, that's deflected up and out of play. Both teams will make changes. And the faceoff will come just outside the Whitby end. The draw, Newmaster across. Here goes Mactel. Has some space and open ice. That's deflected down. Knocked down by Meta. Meta around for De Silva. Nice backhander ahead. And here goes Larman. Larman looking for Keller. That's intercepted. Sonia Meta trying to get it back. Puck knocked around. Grabbed by Seven. Played off the boards into the zone. Mactel. Played around. Intercepted by Larman. Larman down the corner. Here's Jenny Keller. Keller steps up, takes the shot, stopped by Davidson. Rebound loose. McAlpine spins it back for Newmaster. Newmaster up the wing, flips it out of the zone. Right to Willard. Willard drops for 7. She'll come through the middle of France. Collision there, but Willard has the puck now. Willard drops for Keller. She'll play it down around behind the net. France hustles over, able to get there first. Puck deflects into the boards. Ball is pinned there by a Whitby defender. That was Key. Now grabbing it is Charette. She'll backhand it into the zone. Chasing after it. Deflects it past Newmaster. That's grabbed by Key. Played up the boards and sent out the other way by Cialtas. Swanson will grab it. She'll send it into the zone. 12:30 to go in the first. Puck played ahead. That's deflected out the other way. Cosgrave tried to play it ahead. That's turned over. Here's a break for Leeson. Leeson in. Backhander stopped by Sador. Big chance there for Whitby, but unable to capitalize. Puck goes down the ice, and that will be icing. Thought there was a deflection, and I think this one may come to the middle. No. Those same players out there for the Sharks. Strano is going to get kicked out, and Murphy's going to come in. Murphy wins the draw. Cardone back to the point. Basso played down behind the net. Cosgrave looking for Wallace. Drops it back. Dion behind her own net. Gets it up ahead for Wallace. Trying to play it out. That's kept in the zone. Murphy. Sent across for Cardone. Cardone down to the corner. Strano. Played around. Vision into the boards there. Murphy down low for Strano. Strano behind the net. Coming out, tried to backhand back to the defense, but that was broken up. Strano to Key. Tried to take a shot. That's blocked by France. Rebound goes to the corner. Cardone backhand pass out front. Nice play there. Goes back to the point now for Key. Key winded up but fakes. Plays it down low to Strano now, who stumbles and allow the Sharks to flip it around. Wallace trying to get it out. Sharks hemmed in here with bodies that were trying to get a change a couple minutes ago before the icing, and now Sadie France is able to draw a penalty there. It's going to be for a hook. And the Sharks will get the second power play of this game. Alexa Strano to the box. Shark power play 0 for 1 here in the early going, but they'll get a second opportunity to open the scoring. Here's Meta. Gives it to Severn. That was tipped off her stick. Harbeck knocking it free. Harbeck to the middle. That's intercepted and cleared out the other way by Deeth. Sador leaves it for 7. Played across to Sonia Meta. Meta to Severn. Nice move. There, here comes Severn into the zone with some speed. Trying to work around Murray. That's broken up. And then Severn falls to the ground. Foul for it, Winter. Back to the point, Meta. Meta, Winter. Back to the point, Meta. 1:20 to go in the power play. It's cross. 7 to Meta. Down low, Winter. Winter comes back up, gives it to Meta again. And now back to Mally Winter. Winter trying to cut it to the middle. Severn charging in. That's broken up. Meta can't get in front of it, and it's cleared back the other way. Sador comes flying out of her net, trying to catch Whitby on a change back the other way. Here comes Meta. Tried to cut to the middle on McAlpine. That was broken up. McKay will bring it back to the middle and regroup. McKay for 7. Tried to come to the middle. That was deflected by McAlpine, and she'll get it into the Shark end. Piper 7 now just going to calm it down with the 45 seconds left in the power play. Meta to 7 through the middle. Waits, sends it forward. It's knocked down. Pittis. Crossing it for Mactel. That was deflected around. Now Mactel has it up the wing. Some space for the Whitby defender. She comes to the middle, and that's broken up. Goes on net. Sador tried to play it, but just a bit too late. 9:39 to go. 27 seconds left on the power play, but it was almost Kylie Mactel there for Whitby. Getting a good opportunity shorthanded. She comes into today. 8 goals, 13 assists on the season for a team leading 21 points. Wolves win the draw. Here's Key. Played down low, Charette. Flipped around the boards, Keller. That's knocked down. Keller to Willard. Abby Willard up ahead. Keller. Back the other way. Gets it forward to France. France working around Basso. Gets it in down behind the net to Silva. Back to the point for Willard. We're back 5-on-5. Willard to the middle for Keller. That's broken up. Puck knocked ahead. Grabbed by Charette. Couldn't play that as far ahead as she wanted it to. Keel drop it back. Also sends it to the middle, and that's deflected in. Puck knocked around. Murphy's got it now. Murphy up the wing. Tried to drive the net there for Cialcis. That's broken up. Puck comes to Willard. Up ahead to Silva. Knocked to the middle. Murray able to break that one up. Here's Cardone. Up the wing. Sent into the zone. Sador. Played around. Swanson. Trying to get it out. Battle for it. Knocked to the middle. Here's Murphy. Pass to Swanson. Broken up. Flipped ahead. And here goes Wallace. Tail Wallace into the zone. Trying to fight off Clark. Battle for it. Winter knocks it free. Puts out front. Broken up. Swanson back to the point. Cosgrave a shot. Stopped by Davidson. 8:16 to go. Decent opportunity there for Cosgrave, but Davidson able to make the save. On the draw, Mactel. Played around. Puck comes to the middle. Deflected down. Winter to Swanson trying to spin it out front. That was broken up. Back the other way. Here comes McAlpine. The wing into the zone. McAlpine knocks it behind the net. Dion gets there, plays the head for Swanson. That comes to the point. Mactel able to keep it in. Takes the shot wide of the net. Stepping up to grab it is Newmaster now. She'll play it down behind the net for McAlpine. But that's broken up. Winter tried to play it forward. That's knocked down by Strano. Down low now. Here's Deef. Ireland Deef playing it down behind the net. That's intercepted by Winter. Off the boards. Swanson can't get it out again. Here's Mactel. Weaving around one. Trying to get around Dion, though. That's broken up. And Winter's able to flip it back the other way. Will it have enough for icing? No, it's going to die out. Sharks are able to get a change. Key back in her own end. Goalie comes around. Now plays it up and down the length of the ice. Grabbed by Sador. No Wolves around, so she'll give off to Sonia Meta. Meta cuts her way through the middle, able to get around a couple players. Now the Sharks may have some numbers into the zone. It's a 4-on-2. Severn flips it to the net for Meta. Couldn't get there in time. Meta leaves it for Severn. May Severn try to come out in front. That's broken up by Keith. He'll play it ahead for Pittis. It's broken up. 7 up ahead for Harbeck. That's deflected into the zone. Also played around for Murray. Took it up the wing, deflected down the other way into the zone. Cialtis and Willard battling. It's knocked down. Willard up ahead for McKay. Battle for it. Cialtis nearly intercepts. Puck goes down the other way. Murray up ahead. Leeson sent into the zone on net. Stopped by Sador. And a whistle. Face-off battle for it. Cosgrave. McKay plays it up ahead to France. Over to Cooper. That's knocked down. Dion to France. Pass across for McKay. Here goes Maddie McKay into the zone. Takes the shot. Stopped by Davidson. France wins the draw back on the point. Dion takes the shot, deflected. Oh, that one almost got past Davidson. Here's France up to McKay. Dion gives it right back to McKay. Backhanded down to the corner. Pass Petit down to France. See France upended there behind the net. Battle for Cooper trying to knock it free. Cooper trying to start. Now it's knocked to France. France on her backhand goes back to the point. Here's Cosgrave. Cosgrave a shot wider than that. Down comes free to Cardone. She'll flip it up ahead. Petit trying to get it down the ice. Grabbed in the middle by Dion. Foul for it. That's knocked down. Cosgrave. Flipped ahead for McKay. Backhander across. Hits Kathleen Dion. Dion flipped into the zone. Grabbed by Key. It ends up on the stick of Mactel. Mactel intercepted by Winter. Puck goes into the boards. Keller tried to knock it to the middle. That's flipped down the other way. Sador thought about coming out of her net. Now she will. Played to 7. She'll knock it back to Meta. Meta up ahead for Keller. Knocked down, grabbed by Meta. She'll collide there with the Whitby defender. That was Strano. Puck played up ahead, knocked out of the zone. Here goes Strano now. Alexis Strano coming into the zone, trying to work around Keller, but a nice deflection there by Jenny Keller. She takes a tumble into the boards as the 4 players there battle for it. Puck knocked free. Here's Keller. Up ahead, just past Winter. Puck goes down the other way. Here's Key with it. Played forward, deflected into the zone. Grabbed by 7, played around to Willard. Willard to the middle, that's knocked down. 7 able to get it back. Puck goes to Willard, battle for it. Knocked free, Leeson back to the point. Kept in the zone by Cialtzis. Into the boards there is Leeson. Cialtzis gets it, puts it down behind the net. Willard deflects that one, plays it forward. Grabbed by Larman. Sam Larman trying to work her way through. That's broken up. Wallace and Leeson battle for it. Wallace gets the puck, but going to take a penalty on that one for a hook. So with 3:32 to go, Whitby gets their first power play here of the afternoon. Their penalty kill, 2 for 2 so far. Now a chance to take advantage of the special teams game and open the score. And Key, a shot stopped by Sador. Rebound goes to the corner. Puck put back out to Key, now played back to Petit. Battle for it, Petit, able to get it free, sends it across. One-timer Mactel, stopped by Sador. Rebound glove to the corner by Charette and chipped out of the zone by 7. That's hit with a stick and will be whistled down. Faceoff will come right in front of the Whitby bench. Off the faceoff, Whitby wins it. Mactel spins back, gives off to Key. Key up to Petit. Right across to McAtell. McAtell gets around one, gives off to Belk. Here comes Belk up the wing, gonna drop it back for Pittis. Goes to McAtell. Waiting on the blue line, takes the shot, that hit a Whitby player. Now Belka's shot, that goes over top of Sador. Rebound comes to France, trying to get it out the other way, and she'll clear it down the length of the ice. Sharks are able to make changes, just about a minute left here in the power play. Actel gonna drop it back for Basso as she heads off on a change. Here goes Basso through the middle, gets around a couple, now plays it off to Murphy. You have Murphy tipped down into the corner. Leeson trying to get it free. Now it's Cialtzis. Tried to go up to the point, didn't have enough on it. Winter though can't clear. Basso's shot knocked down by Murphy. Puck goes to an open part of the zone. Murphy trying to work around 7, that's knocked down. And flipped back the other way by Piper 7. Now McKay trying to catch up to it. Basso gets there first. And possession remains in Whitby. Murray up the wing. Gets it around Meta, now chase the puck. 7 gets it. Tried to send it around the boards, that remains in. Basso to Leeson. Back to Basso on the blue line. Takes the shot, saves Sador. Rebound loose. Big save by Sador. Somehow that one stayed out. Puck comes free to Meta now, and she's able to clear it down the length. And that will do it for the power play. Shot from the point there caused a commotion out front, and nearly a goal for Whitby. Now Keller forces the turnover, trying to put it out front. That's broken up by Strano. Keller taken down to her knees. Puck flipped around to the point. Knocked around. Silva and Willard were able to keep it in. Willard gets it, flips it back the other way, grabbed by Basso. Pass across to McAtell. Big collision there. Puck flipped in down the other way. Puck knocked down, turnover. Keller a chance off the side of the net. Here's France behind the net. Final minute of the first period. France upended, puck down behind the net. McAtell slow to get up. She's just trying to get off to the bench there. Hopefully she's okay. Back the other way, here comes Cardone. Final 45 seconds. Cardone a shot that's wide of Sador. Rebound, here goes Larman. Charette coming through the middle. Adriel Charette glides with the Whitby bench, sends it into the zone. 30 seconds to go in the opening period. Key with it. Played up the boards. That's knocked down. Alfort sent down to the corner. 20 seconds to go. Here's Basso. Basso up ahead for Pittis. Pittis in the middle. That's knocked down by Larman. Whippy offside. They don't realize it yet. Now they'll head off. Cosgrave to Dion. Will the Sharks have one final rush? Dion to Cosgrave. They'll play it ahead for Severn. It gets past her. Icing waved off. But doesn't look like the Sharks will have enough time. So after the first period, the only thing in the box score is 3 penalties. No score after the first period. We'll see if we get some goals in the second. But first, we're going to take a quick break. You're watching the Barrie Junior Sharks live on YouTube. Well, welcome back here to the East Bayfield Community Center for the second period of this one. It's the Barrie Sharks and the Whitby Wolves, and we have no score through 20 minutes. Whitby had 1 power play, Sharks had 2 power plays. Obviously neither power play able to convert shots on goal in the first period. 8-5 for the Sharks as they look to make it a 3-game win streak going into the holiday break. They're off after today until January 3rd when they're in Oakville to take on the Hornets. It'll be a Saturday game at 2:30 p.m. Discussion here at the Shark bench. Looks like all is good, and now we're ready to go. France and Toronto will take the draw, and we are back underway. France wins it to 7. That's deflected by De Silva right to the middle. Strano back to Basso. Foul for it. Basso flips it ahead. France is there. Up for El De Silva. De Silva trying to work around Key. She's pinned to the boards. Keller sends it to the net. That's broken up. Puck comes to the middle. Knocked down. Meta tips it. And yeah, that was offside. Now we're getting another discussion at the Shark bench. So now we're good to go. And Winter wins the draw. Puck flipped across to Willard. Deflected into the zone. Battle for it. Against the board. Swanson trying to play it down low. That's broken up. Battle for it still against the boards. Puck still in the zone. Now it comes out. Back the other way. Strano. Willard goes down. Now here's a chance for Strano. A chance. Big save there by Sador. Rebound deflected to the corner. A couple players were charging in there, trying to get at Willard. Up ahead for Swanson, looking for Wallace. Taylor Wallace has some space up the wing. Drops for Swanson to the middle. Takes the shot, save Davidson, and she'll gather it. Face off Clark. Wait for it. That was knocked down. McKay tried to spin it back down low, intercepted by Clark. Clark goes across for Murray. Puck played ahead. That's deflected into the zone by Pittis. Just behind the net. Trying to knock it free from Dion. Balfour knocked free. Now here's Belt. Belt back to the point. Murray to Clark. She'll take a shot blocked by Cosgrave. Stavern couldn't play it. Now Petit has it. Petit with a shot that goes wide on the net. Cosgrave off the boards for McKay. McKay trying to fight through. Knocked back to the point for McTell. Good to see she's okay after taking a hard tumble there late in the first. Struggled to get off, but Now back out there and good to go. That's knocked down by McKay. Had Severn through the middle, but had a couple of Whitby players get in front of her. Sador leaves it there for Dion. Collision there into the boards. Now a chance for Whitby up front. Sador doesn't know where it is, and she's able to dive on it. Nearly trouble there for the Sharks. The stick stuck in the boards as well. Sharks are having equipment issues on the bench as well. Kaya Harbeck having trouble with her helmet. So equipment moments all around right now. Leeson kicked out. Murphy will come in. Battle for it off the draw. Severn trying to knock it back to behind the net. She was taken down. Sharks trying to chip it out of the zone. That was Wallace. Broken up, and now France gets it ahead. Cooper trying to catch up to it, doesn't get it. Foul forward against the boards, Leeson. Drop back to Maxell. Maxell for the mill for Leeson. Hayden Leeson into the zone, gives off for Neb Murphy. Murphy tried to send it to the net, that goes wide. Wallace trying to knock it free, puck tipped down behind the net. Meta is there, she'll escape with it. Now back the other way comes Meta. Backhanded across to Cooper, she'll come up the wing into the zone onside. To the middle, France with a one-timer. Was deflected wide. Here's Wallace. Back to the point, Meta. Meta off the boards. That's flipped out. Back the other way. 3 minutes gone by here in the second period. Charette up ahead for De Silva. De Silva across for Willard. Gabby Willard, that's kicked ahead. She goes down one side. Key. Charette, pass up to Keller. Oh, she was able to get that on her stick. De Silva is wide open in the middle. Here goes Charette now through the middle. Jill Charette gets it into the zone. That shot goes wide. De Silva winding up. That's wide on the net as well. Puck comes around past Charette. Out back the other way. Here goes Whitby. That's knocked down. Grabbed by Winter. Winter up ahead. Here's De Silva trying to go to the middle. That's broken up and knocked down. Winter takes the shot. Knocked down by Keller. Now in the corner. Keller. Trying to go down to the corner. That's intercepted by Strano. Strano gets it ahead out of the zone. Willard knocks it down. Didn't wait long enough, and that's offside. And this one's going to go all the way back down. Goes behind the net, battle for it. That's knocked down. Wallace grabs it. That's intercepted by Petit, but Wallace able to get it back out the other way. Wallace sends it into the zone. Swanson chasing behind the net. She's able to get there. There's Simone Swanson. Foul for it. That's knocked down. Played back behind the net. Clark trying to get there. Wallace nearly intercepts. Puck goes back behind the net again. Murray around for Belk. Belk sends it right back the other way. Murray's there, deflects it ahead. And here goes McAlpine. McAlpine pins the boards. Petit will grab it. Collision there at center between Belk and Severn. They're both okay. Petit will send it into the zone. Balfour knocking it free. There's McAlpine. Intercepted by Larman. And she's able to get it out. Maxell. That's knocked down. Here goes Severn through the middle. Maybe an opportunity here for the Sharks. It's a 2-on-1. Severn takes the shot wide of the net. Back the other way now. Here goes Whitby trying to quickly go on the rush. This to the middle for Leeson, but that's offside. So good opportunity one way, and then Whitby trying to go right back the other way, but that's broken up. Bit of confusion with who should be on the ice there for the Sharks. Off the face-off, knocked into the zone. Here's Pittis up the wing. Pittis down low behind the net. Spinning off Dion. Now here goes Pittis. Got free. Trying to put it backhander on net. Broken up. Here's a chance. Stopped by Sador. Rebound is gathered underneath her. Sador down on the ground, but still able to make the save. Winter kicked out on the draw. Keller will take it. Pittis will win it. Newmaster. Went down behind the net for Leeson. Pinned to the boards by Winter. Dion trying to get it out. Kept in by Newmaster. Back in the middle. Deflected to the corner. And Cialtis will play it behind the net. Willard up ahead for Keller. Puck comes out. No, Mactel does a nice job keeping that one in. Willard around for Dion. Gets it off of Cardone. And now back the other way. Mallory Winter tips it forward. Has Keller driving the net. Winter tried to center. That's broken up. Now the Silva has it. Tried to drop for Winter. Turned over. Sharks able to get it back. Here's Meta. Sonia Meta knocked down. Battle for it. Turned over to Silva. Down low. Centering it for Meta. Just missed. I think that hit off the pads of Davidson and into the corner. Here's Keller putting it behind the net. Trying to get free of Leeson. I'll play it to Mactel. Up to Murphy. Murphy through the middle for Cardone. That was broken up. Deflected by Winter. Now Winter gets it into the zone, but intercepted by Basso. Played ahead. Kicked by Meta. Grabbed there by May Severn. 13 and a half to go in the second period. Severn taken down there. Puck comes to the middle. Cooper deflects it to McKay. McKay alone off the post. No! Sharks think they scored. The officials say no. Battle for Whitby gets it out of the zone. 7 plays it in to Strano. Turned over. Here's 7. Takes a shot. That goes wide of the net. Here's Cooper trying to put it out front. That's broken up. Sure, at the next whistle, there will be a long discussion at the Shark bench. Here's Cosgrave. Stepping up, playing it down behind the net. Puck knocked Friesen out of the zone. 7. Plays it forward to McKay. Matty McKay into the zone. Puck comes to the middle. Belk knocked down. Grabbed by Dion. Kathleen Dion through the middle. It's knocked down. Couple players upended. Now back the other way. Here goes Strano through the middle. Strano driving the net. Tried to send it across. Broken up by Dion. Rebound. Put out front, and Sador with a big save there. Whitby coming close to opening the scoring. Sonia Meta talking to the official. Wonder if that has to do with the puck off the post. Now we're having a discussion between the official and the linesman. Now 3 of them getting together. Now, of course, there is no replay. It would be nice if they just grabbed our stream and zoomed in, but that's not allowed, I guess. Now Coach Dwayne Eldridge getting an explanation. Now the explanation will come to the Whitby bench. So face off to the left of Ava Sador. Balfour off the draw, knocked back to the point. Clark played down low. McAlpine grabbed by Dion, backhanded around to Wallace. Balfour Petit down behind the net. France to Meta. Swanson gets it out of the zone, grabbed by Clark. Petit battle for it. Knocked into the zone. Dion Cross to Swanson. Swanson flipped ahead, now a race to the puck. Wallace is going to get there first to negate the icing. Wallace slides it out front for a backhander. France just missed the net. McAlpine turned over. Here's Wallace. Sharks trying to go to work again. Wallace coming up to the point, gives off to Charette. Charette tried to knock it down low. Wallace tried to push it ahead. Wallace was able to keep it in, gets it to France. Her shot blocked. Second opportunity, deflected to the board. Charette steps up. Tried to get it out front. That's broken up. Foul for it against the boards. France was able to keep it in. Puck goes down behind the net. Here's Clark, sent through the middle. Puck goes down the length of the ice for an icing with 11:14 to go. Off the face-off key up the boards. Cosgrave able to keep it in on the point. That's deflected by Severn and into the Shark bench. So come right back into the Whitby zone. Harmon and Leeson on the draw, one by Leeson. Mactel around for Murray. Murray sent to the middle, knocked down by Dion. Grabbed by Severn. Murray up the boards, kept in by Severn. Tried to go down to the corner for Harbeck, that's broken up. Battle for it, grabbed by Leeson, and she'll go back the other way. That's chipped ahead, now maybe a 2-on-1, maybe even a 3-on-1. Cialta's trying to put it to the net, and a big block there by Cosgrave. Two Wolves were unguarded heading to the net. Leeson trying to go back to the point. That's deflected up in the air. Harbeck will get it out of the zone. Murray will send it right back in. Whitby's got to wait till they're back on side, and they are. Cosgrave up ahead for Severn. Working around Newmaster. Puck goes in down the length of the ice. Lasso. Long ice feed. There's Murphy. Into the zone. 7 defends her well. Severn able to get it back now from Meta. She's taken down to the boards. And she's on the puck, so that'll be whistled down. Off the face-off, Winter. Foul for it around the boards. Murphy, that's knocked down. Puck comes out to the point, that's kept in. Grabbed by Keller, chipped ahead, and here goes De Silva. 2-on-2 into the zone, but just missed Keller and they're offside, so they have to regroup. Puck flip back down the other way. It'll go on net. Sador gathers with 9:36 to go. On the draw, France chips it forward. McKay can't get it out. Puck sent down low, stopped by Sador. Rebound. McAlpine to Belt. Belt coming up the wing, giving off. Taking the shot there, blocked by Willard. Puck comes to the middle, and Sador will make the save. Teat wins the draw. Here's Murray on the point. Takes the shot, knocked down. Belk a chance, stopped by Sador. Here's Charette. Trying to give it to Cooper, knocked back behind the net. Willard. Intercepted by Belk. She's pinned to the boards. Battle for it. Puck knocked free. McAlpine out to the point for Clark. Clark gets it back to McAlpine. Trying to fight off Charette. She will. McAlpine trying to get it to the net. That's deflected behind. McAlpine and Charette go into the boards. Here's Murray. And up, sent back down the other way. Now a whistle. And now a penalty coming to both teams here. It's going to be Willard and Belt going to the box. Coincidental minors. Roughing is the call. Didn't see what happened. It was behind the play. Now they're having a discussion. 5 skaters apiece right now. So looks like we're good, and face off one by Whitby. Off the draw, puck comes in, offside. Off the face-off, battle for it. Cialta, she'll send it into the zone. Puck goes down behind the net. Kathleen Dion played around to Swanson. That's backhanded down to the corner. Both players will get 2 minutes for roughing. Coincidental minors, so the first whistle after 2 minutes after the penalty, both players will come out. Here goes Basso, cuts the middle, takes the shot, blocked away by Sidor. Rebound loose, Sidor makes another save. Puck loose, they jam away at it, and it gets to the corner for Cosgrave. Trying to clear, Basso able to keep it in, sending it to the net, blocked by Larman. She'll flip it ahead, trying to get it to Wallace, but broken up. Cosgrave, right through the middle, that just missed Larman. It'll go down the length of the ice, and will be an icing. 7:40 to go in the second period. Still looking for our first goal of the game. The Sharks thought they had it earlier this period. Maddie McKay shot just under the bar. Officials say it hit the post. Sharks believed it went in the net. And in the end, it was no goal. Cosgrave off the draw. Gets it to Dion, now through the middle for Larman. That's deflected down the ice. Sharks think about chasing, but they'll just decide to head off on a change. Actel up the boards. Back the other way. Here comes Cardone. Cardone slides it to the middle. That's broken up. Tip forward. By Newmaster. Played down Cardone. Tried to put it out front for Strano, but that's intercepted. Actel makes a move on Severn. Actel getting around Winter, playing it down low. Tried to slide it out front. Puck comes out to Newmaster. She'll take a shot. Blocked up in the air. Sidor had to be careful there to make sure, but her net came off. Off the face-off, 7. Back to Meta. Just under 7 minutes to go. Harbeck will flip it down into the Shark bench. Get another face-off here. 6:52 to go. And Winter on the draw. It's won by Winter. Meta sends it out the other way. Now chasing is Severn. Her and Clark will battle as it goes down the ice, and that's icing. Teeth and Winter on the draw. Won by Winter. 7 around for Meta. That's knocked down. Grabbed by Harbeck. Harbeck flips it back. Sonia Meta is there. 6:30 to go. Meta through the middle. It's knocked down. Grabbed by Whitby. Sent into the zone. Blocked off by Meta at the blue line. Winter to Severn. Backhanded ahead for Harbeck. They'll come ahead. Set back out of the zone. Winter drops back for 7. Trying to play it to head. Here goes Keller into the zone. Jamie Keller comes to the middle, takes the shot, stopped by Davidson. Rebound right back to Keller, slides it out front for France. That's broken up and flipped out the other way. Murphy gets it into the zone. That's chip pass. Charette Sador is there, nearly a collision. But everyone stays on their feet. Here's Keller. Behind the net, gives to Charette. That goes up the boards. Leeson trying to hang on to it, intercepted. France, cross for Keller. She's able to knock it down. Trying to get it past Basso, but that's broken up. Puck flipped down now behind the net. Leeson and Charette, they go into the boards. Cialsis now trying to knock it free. Puck back at the point. Here's Basso taking a shot, deflected, and it goes to the corner. Here's Cosgrave. Trying to flip it ahead. That's turned over. Beef tried to play it down low, intercepted by De Silva. Gets it up to Keller, now one-on-one into the zone. Here goes Keller, she'll wait, she'll shoot. That's deflected wide. France gets the rebound off the end boards, looking for a shot, couldn't get it. De Silva backhands it off the boards to the point for Dion. Kathleen Dion gonna take a shot, that deflects. Hit a couple bodies and goes to the corner. Key with it now. Slapped away by Keller. Go right to Basso. So that's knocked down by Cooper. Sharks trying to quickly get on the attack there. It comes out of the zone, and Whippy was nearly able to get a break, but now it's Dion with it. Just misses Larman. Puck goes into the zone. Key coming around off the boards. That's knocked down by Dion. Now a 2-on-1. Leeson with Deef into the zone. Leeson across. Has Deef. Has space. Blocked by Meta. Big play there by Sonia Meta on the 2-on-1. Now the Sharks going back the other way. A 4-on-3 into the zone. Meta sending it to the net. That's knocked down. Deef back the other way. Looking for Larman. That's broken up. Larman sends it right back in on net. Davidson grabs it with her stick. MacDell played around, sent up the wing by Newmaster. That's deflected into the zone. 4 minutes to go here in the second. Wallace off the boards, tipped ahead by Winter. Now maybe a 2-on-1 for the Sharks. Swanson will get it as Winter cuts the middle. Swanson takes the shot, stopped by Davidson. Rebound chance stopped as well. 7 now. Spins it out front. MacTell was able to get in front of that one. MacTell now calms it down. Now plays it to the middle. That's knocked down and turned over. Taylor Wallace trying to work it through the zone. Broken up, comes out, and 7 sends it right back in. Goes up the boards. Cardone, that's offside. So Belkin Willard finally able to get out of the box. 2-minute penalty lasted a lot longer than 2 minutes due to a long little hit there without a whistle. France on the draw with Severn very wide out. Cosgrave slaps it into her. For it, knocked down. Deflected out of the zone. Harbeck will grab it and drops it back to Cosgrave. Here's Cosgrave off the boards, deflected and tipped out of the zone. Cosgrave to Dion, sent through the middle, May Severn. Here goes Severn into the zone, trying to fight past Clark. Clark able to break that up. Severn spins it out front. Harbeck has room, takes the shot, deflected wide. Now France trying to put it out front, that's broken up. McAlpine dropping it back. Who's going to be first there? It's going to be Severn. Severn tried to wait behind the net, but then that was deflected by Murray. Murray up the wing for Murphy. That's broken up by France. She's able to keep it in the zone for now, but Clark will grab it. Clark on the back end, usually a forward. They're playing defense today with the Wolves one short on the back end with May Baird out of the lineup. That goes to the net. Sador makes the save and everyone tumbles to the ground with 2:34 to go. Leeson on the draw, she wins it. Basso plays it behind the net for Cialtis. That's knocked down. Leeson back to the point, and a penalty coming here. Interference is the call against Madison Cialtis. And the Sharks will get a power play here. First penalty of the period that will cause a power play. We did have coincidental minors a couple minutes ago. Shark power play 0 for 2 in the first period. This is their third opportunity of the afternoon, and they'll have a chance to open the scoring here with 2:25 to go in the second. Larman With it, goes back to the point for Piper, 7. 7 to Larman. Larman fighting for the pressure, sending it to the net for De Silva, broken up and sent back the other way. Sador leaves it for 7. 7 up to Meta. Sonia Meta sent across Larman. Shook him up the wing into the zone. Larman stops up, backhands it down to Keller. Leeson tried to clear, that's broken up. De Silva battles for it with Key. Puck knocked free to Keller. Goes back to the point, 7. Cross for Meta to the middle. Keller looking for a one-time release and got a piece of her stick there. 7 back to Meta. Meta to Keller. Quick pass down to De Silva. Broken up, going back the other way now. Basso, she'll flip it in down the length of the ice, and the Wolves will get a change. Sharks trying to quickly go back the other way. It's Larman up the wing. Larman will wait. Sent across for Keller. Meta to 7. Sharks making changes. Here's a pass across. MacTell read that one well. She was almost able to deflect it and end up in on a break. She'll now drop back into her zone and just kill time off the clock here. Final minute of the second. 33 seconds left in the power play. Puck goes on net. Sador leaves it for Willard there right out front. Willard missed 7. Puck comes out of the zone. Pittis on it. Drops it back for Newmaster. Wolves are doing a good job killing this penalty. MacTell now almost turns over. Collision there. That's going to be a penalty against Severn. And we're going to go 4-on-4 for about 9 seconds. Body contact the call against Severn. So we'll do 9 seconds of 4-on-4, then a minute 51 at power play for Whitby that'll carry over into the third unless they score in the next 34 seconds. They're currently 0 for 1 on the power play. Off the faceoff, Basso trying to put it out front. That's deflected right to Willard. She'll just slap it down the ice. This can be icing as Cialtis wasn't out. No, it's waved off because Davidson came out to play it. Don't think she realized that it could have been icing because of the 4-on-4. Here's Bell into the zone, nearly knocked down by Willard. 10 seconds to go. Whitby have one final chance. Here's Basso. She'll take a shot, saves it over. Rebound sitting there. Cialtis down on the ground, trying to knock it free. Puck goes to the corner. Chance for Belk out front, stopped by Sador. And she goes tumbling over her. And the officials will quickly come in, clear everyone out of the way. And that will do it. So Whitby will take their power play into the third period. And just like the first time these two teams met, we have a 0-0 tie through 2 periods. We'll try and solve that coming up in the third period as we take a quick break. Welcome back here to Barrie, Ontario at the East Bayfield Community Centre for the third period of this one. The Sharks are here, the Wolves are here, just waiting on the officials to come back out so the players can hit the ice. Still no score here through two periods. May Severn will have to head to the penalty box at the start of the period, as she was penalized for body contact. There's a minute 26 left in that penalty. And then we'll be back 5-on-5 unless Whitby scores before that. Shots 17-6 for the Wolves through two periods. In the second there, the shots were 12-8 for Whitby. Well, here we go. Sadie France and Stella Pittis on the draw. Third period of the final game before the Christmas break is underway. Sonia Meadow with the puck. She'll send it in. Davidson behind her own net. We'll leave it there for Mactel. Drops it back. France forces the turnover as Keller driving that. Gets it out front. Stopped by Davidson. Short-handed break there for the Sharks. But a nice save by Sadie Davidson. Face-off won by France. Meta gets past Keller, goes down behind the net for Mactel. France pressuring from behind. Mactel gives to Key. Up the wing, that's intercepted. Keller trying to go right back on the attack. That's broken up. Keller doesn't have anyone with her because France is heading off on a change. Here's Belk up the wing. Gets it into the zone, drops for Mactel. Mactel waits, shoots, deflected, and that goes wide of the net. Rebound Meadow. Petit put into the boards. Here's Pittis. Back to the point, Mactel. Mactel across. One-timer Key. That was fanned on. Couple one-timers fanned on here. Here's a chance. That goes wide. Here today. Mactel knocked off the puck by Keller. That'll allow her to get off. 20 seconds left in the penalty to Severn. Mactel up the wing. Moving forward, getting into the zone. Cal waits. That's deflected, pushed ahead. Severn out of the box, we're back 5-on-5. From the point, Leeson's pass knocked down by Walls, down on her knees. It's kicked by Severn and whistled down. Dion across for Cosgrave. That's pushed ahead. Here goes De Silva. Maybe a 2-on-1 with Keller. De Silva into the zone. Takes a shot. Save Davidson. Rebound loose for France. Open net. Scores! Sadie France with her 6th of the season. Davidson didn't know where it was. And the Sharks are on the board first. It's 1-0. 42 minutes later, we have our first goal of the game. 1-0 for the Sharks, and they're looking for more. Severn into the zone, stopped by Davidson. Rebound in the corner, Mactel knocked down by Severn. Severn puts it out front. Here's Windsor, a chance that goes over top. Rebound comes free, that's tipped forward. The other way, McAlpine trying to go back out the other way. Now as Cardone, she'll send it into the zone. Sador leaves it for Dion, that's turned over. Cardoni puts it out front. Deflected, stopped by Sador. Rebound Dion. Forward, that's knocked out of the zone, right back in. Cardoni tips it to the net, but whistled down for an offside. France from Keller and De Silva here in the third period. Last time these two teams met, it was a 1-0 Whitby win. Can the Sharks reverse the script here? 7. Behind the net, Keller fanned on it. Basso to the middle, that's knocked down, and the puck goes to the corner. France around for Meta. Sonia Meta. Played up the wing for Keller. Keller battles for it, that's tipped ahead. Grabbed by Basso, her shot glove saved by Sador. 17-11 to go in the third. Leeson wins it, Basso. Right down behind the net, Cialtas. Bringing it around. Grab there, knocked free, and there goes 7 back the other way. She's able to deflect it forward, but he is there. A couple players battle for it there. Now coming from the middle, Basso. Basso trying to work around. Tried to take a shot, that's broken up. Maddie McKay going back the other way. Gets past the neutral zone. Tried to send it in, that's broken up. Back the other way. Here comes Cialtas to the middle. Cialtas a shot. Glove saves Sador. 16:37 to go. Strano on the draw. Winter gets kicked out. For it, Strano tried to go back to the point for Clark. That comes out. Down the other way, Davidson leaves it there. Here goes Murray trying to go back the other way. That's knocked down. Puck comes to the middle. Cardoni. She'll send it in. And there's Willard now. Willard tried to get it around Murphy there. That was broken up. The two of them go down to the ground. Comes up the wing, kept in the zone by Clark. Winter over to Charette. That comes up the wing, Murray. Tipped down low, Willard. Drop back Charette. Up the wing, Wallace. That's knocked down. Battle for it. Deflected around, back the other way. Here goes Wallace, trying to battle with Murray for it. Taya Wallace able to get free, now 2-on-1. Wallace, a shot stopped by Davidson. Puck up in the air, knocked down by the Whitby defense. Flipped out the other way, Charette able to keep it in the zone. That's knocked down. Here's a chance, blockered away by Davidson. Rebound, collision there. Battles for it. Strano trying to get it out. Whitby trying to come back the other way, that's broken up. Dion taken down there by Murphy, and the puck will come back out the other way. Cosgrave up ahead for Harbeck. Harbeck trying to send it to the middle for France. That's broken up. Pittis played across. That's sent quickly ahead by Newmaster. Now here comes Whitby into the zone, but they're offside. 15 minutes to go in the third period. Face off one by McAlpine. Sent out to Mactel. Into the zone, she'll tip it down behind the net. 7 off the boards, looking for Harbeck. Harbeck knocks it back. Meta able to get there, battling with Petit for it. Petit trying to put it out front, that's grabbed by France. She backhands it back the other way. Puck comes loose, Harbeck trying to clear. Remains in, now flipped down the other way. Mactel now. Played forward for Cialtas. Cialtzis through the middle, that's knocked down. Back the other way now, here come the Sharks to Silva. Maya Keller for a break, she does. Jenny Keller in all alone, stopped by Davidson. Great opportunity there to add to the lead for the Sharks. Larman right back in, offside. Sharks don't realize De Silva. Nice job there, not touching the puck. Keller sending it back in. Davidson leaves it for MacTell. Grabbed by Key. Played down the length of the ice, icing already waved off. That'll allow Sador to come out of her net. Grab it, now played forward. Larman looking across for El De Silva. De Silva overskates it, but now Charette coming in to help out. That's knocked down by Leeson. Whippy looking to go back the other way. Leeson gets it into the zone, intercepted by Willard. Pass across, gets past Winter. The puck played down behind the net. Here's Belk. Tipping it around to Silva. Played to Winter. Willard knocked down. Eatstrop put it out front for Belk. That's blocked off. Winter getting there, working around. Now back the other way come the Sharks. Winter up ahead for Jenny Keller. Keller into the zone. Floats a shot on net. Stopped by Davidson. Off the draw, Winter back to the point. Here's Cosgrave, that's deflected up and out of play. 13:03 to go. Sharks looking for some insurance. Whitby looking to tie the game. Sharks game close to a 2-goal lead. Jenny Keller had a breakaway, but couldn't find the back of the net. McKay fights through, backhanding it across. Open side of the zone. Cardone plays it forward. Belt gives to Murray. Murray trying to work around Cosgrave. That's broken up. Cosgrave pushing it back the other way. Knocked out of the zone by McKay. Here go the Sharks again. 2-on-2 into the zone. McKay's got Cooper with her. McKay on her backhand. Spinning back. Puts it to the middle. Here's Dion with a shot. Knocked down and sent wide. Rebound Murray. Couldn't get it out. Here's Cosgrave to McKay. McKay back to the point. Cosgrave has space. Takes the shot. Looking for a deflection, but wide. France able to fight through Cardone. Puck goes down low behind the net. Clark up the wing, gets past Meta. Puck goes down the length of the ice. Seven there, able to grab it. Seven up ahead for Swanson. That's knocked down and offside with 12:10 to go in the third. Final game of the calendar year of 2025. For the Sharks, their next matchup, January 3rd against the Oakville Hornets. Puck flipped in, down behind the net. MacTell is there, off the boards, that's backhanded ahead, now to the zone. Seven sent down the other way. Puck left there, MacTell, hard rim off the boards, and it'll come out to Sonia Meta. Meta played across. Willard fanned on that one. Luckily, Pittis overskated it as well. Murphy trying to come in, that's broken up. France, ooh, that hit the Whitby coach. Hopefully he's okay. He's just getting checked out really quickly over there on the bench, and then maybe a little bit of bandaging if there's any cuts. MacTell sent into the zone. Sador leaves it for Charette. Puck goes up the boards. Battle for it. Pinned to the corner. Larman gets it. Puts it out. Here's MacTell. Battle against the boards. Willard up ahead for Harbeck. That's knocked down. Grabbed by Cialtzis. Cialtzis sent down low for Leeson. Here's Severn. It's flipped out the other way. Puck goes down the length of the ice, and icing is called. 10:58 to go in the third period. Stade France with a goal 2 minutes in to the third, giving the Sharks the lead. It was a good opportunity for Jenny Keller off a pass from Elda Silva. That was stopped by Davidson, then she couldn't find the puck. Rebound came out to Sadie France, who had an open cage. Was able to put it home. Charette played around for Willard. Backhanded ahead, past Larman down the length of the ice, and that will be an icing with 10:47 to go. Toronto and Larman on the draw. Puck played around, Severn. Flipped ahead, Harbeck chasing, just barely couldn't knock it down. She is able to get to it first, trying to put it out front for Larman. That's broken up by Keith. That goes back down the other way, Cosgrave. Grabs it to Dion, tried to go back. Cosgrave wasn't there, now a chance for Whippy. Belk up the wing, she's taken down. No call on that one. Here's Keith, puts it to the middle, deep shot, that's broken up. Keller gets it back. Going back down the other way, maybe a 3-on-2 for the Sharks. Keller into the zone, gives to Winter. She has the Silva driving net. Winter keeps, puts it across for Keller, just missed the net. Great opportunity there for the Sharks. Here's De Silva to the middle. One-timer, Keller denied. Keller's had about 3 grade A chances here in the third. De Silva chance denied. Keller again, fanned on it. Second chance, Whippy able to grab it. And Strano gets it out back the other way. Sador decides to leave it. Kathleen Dion there for the Sharks, plays it off the boards. Murray grabs it. Foul for it. Keller knocked down. Cardone. Right to the corner. Pittis behind the net. Dion up ahead. Not out. Murray a chance, stopped by Sador. Dion to Winter, chipped down behind the net. Here's Cosgrave up ahead. Knocked down by Clark. Intercepted. Here's a chance. That's blocked. Puck goes back to the point. Deflected around. Here's Murray. Takes a shot. Stopped by Sador. Rebound Dion up to Keller. It's flipped ahead out of the zone. Murray is there. Off the boards. Right back the other way. Here comes Whippy into the zone. Keith to the middle. Takes a shot. Blocked away by Sador. Rebound Cardone. Couldn't bat it out of midair. Back the other way, here goes France. She'll play it off the boards into the zone. Grabbed by Newmaster. Up the wing, McKay to Cooper. Tipped down behind the net, France. Tried to put it out front, that's broken up. Puck comes back to the point, Piper 7. Off the boards, played down behind the net, France. France with 8:25 to go. She'll play it down behind the net for Cooper. Cooper put into the boards, McKay. Deflected, battle for it, Cooper upended. Leeson gets it. She goes down for a moment. Foul for it. Whippy with it. Mactel back the other way. Here go the Wolves. Puck coming to the middle. A bit of a collision there. France off the board. Sends it out the other way. Whippy able to send it into the zone. 7 is there for the Sharks. She'll go around for Meta. Meta trying to get it out. Wolves able to keep it in. Here's Murphy down low. Trying to put it out front, but just wide of the on-charging Strano. So now tip it down behind the net, grab by 7. Strano all over. Played off the boards, kept in by Mactel. Deflected around, Sharks get it. Now back the other way, here goes 7. Maybe a chance for the Sharks. Here's Wallace up the wing. Wallace backhand across for 7. Put to the net, but broken up. Swanson to Wallace. Working around Strano, trying to cut to the middle. That's broken up. Sent down the other way by McAlpine. 7 back in the defensive position. She'll chip it down with the ice. And a couple Sharks will be able to make changes. Sends it ahead. That's down the ice. Going to be icing with 7:04 to go in the third period. Face off one by the Sharks. Severing a chance. That goes over top. Rebound Willard. Gabby Willard stepping up. Push down behind the net. Galpine. Put to the middle, and there goes Belk. Trying to work around Charette. It's broken up. Bit of a collision there between Belk and Charette. And then Severn takes a tumble. Now create an opportunity here. Here's Murray riding the line. Whippy making changes. Here's a chance. Stopped by Sador. Battle for it. Deep back to the point for Clark. Audrey Clark sending it down to the corner for Strano. Strano tried to get it to Clark. Severn charges in there. Battle for it there between Winter and Pittis. Here's Pittis sending it across. Murray has space. Sending it to the net. That's blocked by Charette. Clark. Down low. Battle for it. Trying to get it free. About 5 players in there. Now a 6th will come in. Puck comes out to the middle. Nearly a chance there. Now Clark steps up. She'll take a shot. Stopped by Sador. Able to fight off the traffic to somehow get enough of that puck. 5:51 to go in the third. The Sharks trying to hold on to a tight 1-goal lead against a Whitby team that's in familiar territory, as they were down by 1 yesterday to Oakville, and were unable to come back late in that game, losing 2-1. France able to win the draw. Dion looking for Cosgrave, got past her. Here's Leeson, back to the point, Newmaster, that goes back down the other way. De Silva trying to catch up to it. That's knocked down, grabbed by Whitby. MacTell broken up, puck comes out of the zone. Here's Leeson. And Leeson up the wing, gets it into the zone, fighting around Dion. Leeson to Cialtis, back to the point, Newmaster a chance. That's blocked by De Silva. Cialtis to the point. Pass across, broken up by De Silva. MacTell goes down. Now into the zone, here comes Whitby. Petit gets it down behind the net. Leeson knocking it free. Leeson has some space. She'll come back to the point, gives off Petit. She'll work her way around Keller, driving net, putting it out front for Petit, but that was broken up. De Silva floats it out the other way. Keller couldn't get a stick on it, and that will be icing as we enter the final 5 minutes of the third. France wins the draw. Cosgrave around for Dion. Up ahead, Keller up to De Silva. De Silva trying to backhand it in. That's broken up. Basso around for Belk. Belk sends it in behind the net. Sador watches it. A 7 plays it to Severn. Severn up ahead for Larman. That goes down the length of the ice, and that will be another icing with 4:34 to go. Offensive zone draw here for the Wolves. As they look to tie the game, they're able to win the face-off. Key a shot, that's deflected to the corner. 7. Around the boards, Meta. Played up ahead for Maddie McKay. McKay will backhand it forward. That's deflected to open ice. 7 trying to get there as well as Larman. Pittis there for Whitby. She'll play it back the other way. Meta off the boards, looking for McKay. It got past her, goes down the ice, but so. Working around. Here she goes. Back the other way. 4 minutes to go. Basso into the zone. Makes a move. Takes the shot over top of Sador. Rebound. Cialtis is there. She'll play it down to the corner for Leeson. Leeson and Meta go down in the corner. Cialtis comes in to help out. Gets it up to the point for Murray. She has space. Takes a shot. Deflected down to the corner. Meta puts Cialtis into the boards. Leeson tips it back to the point. Murray trying to go across for MacTell. That's off the official and out of the zone. MacTell sends it right back in. Sent forward. Here's France. Back the other way. She'll play it forward. Flips it into the zone. Davidson. Nearly turned over behind the net. Murray around. Here's De Silva. Flipped out to the point. France trying to take a shot. That's blocked. Keller gets it back. Drops it to the point for Willard. Wasn't able to keep it in. The Sharks have to get back on side. Comes out of the zone. Charette up to De Silva. Puck comes to the middle. Here goes Keller. Has some space in the zone. Takes the shot, blocked by MacTell. Rebound Keller behind the net. Tried to get it to France. That's broken up. Puck to the middle, turned over. Here's to Silva with a chance. That's the slide. Down Pittis. Grabbed by Murray across from Actel. That's broken up by De Silva. Then offside with 2:48 to go in the third period. Face up just outside the Whitby end here as the Sharks look to close this game out. Off the face-off. Key across. Brassot played forward. Wallace goes down the other way. Cosgrave. Played across. That's broken up. Pittis tried to put it out front. That's broken up. Winter around. Turned over. Carcone to Pittis. Behind the net. Trying to put it out front, but Sador was there. 2:25 to go. Leeson wins it back to the point. Basowitz shot. That goes wide. Big rebound. Petit waiting. Sliding it out front. No one was able to get a shot. Now Key knocks it down. Cosgrave gets it. Can't clear though. So he puts it right back down behind the net. Cosgrave is there. Coming up on the final 2 minutes. Severn trying to clear. That's broken up. She gloves it. That's deflected to Larman. And out through the middle, it's Harbeck. Actel is coming on the ice, so she's able to get in front of her. And Harbeck will just flip it down. Actel played around. That's sent off the boards, out back the other way. Larman up ahead. That's intercepted by MacTell. MacTell tripped up. That's going to be a penalty. First one of the period. It's going to be for a trip. Mays Severn to the box. Timeout for the Wolves, empty net, 6-on-4 for 1:46 as they try and tie this game. One 0 Sharks, your score. The only goal coming earlier this period, Sadie France getting her 6th goal of the season to make it 1-0 for the Sharks. They thought they had a goal there in the second period, but hit off the post. Both teams will draw up a play. Looks like Keller, France, Meta. Can't see the other defender behind Meta for this penalty kill. Piper 7 is the other defender joining Meta. This will be the first 4 for the Sharks to try and close this game out. Belk, Pittis, MacTell, Brasso, Key, and Petit. Petit will take the draw against France, won by the Wolves. Key has it back to the point for MacTell, 6-on-4. Whitby power play 0 for 2. They missed the pass. Now here goes France trying to skate it back the other way. Empty cage, takes the shot wide of the net. 1:35 to go. MacTell will regroup in her own end. More than likely, these are the 6 girls that'll finish the game for Whitby. MacTell into the zone, trying to drop it back for Keller. Key, put it to the middle for Petit. That's knocked down by France. City France trying to go back the other way. Empty cage, France up the wing, takes the shot just off the side of the post. Puck slipped back ahead. Whitby hasn't really been able to set anything up here. Petit coming to the middle on Wallace. Played over to Belk. Final minute of the third period. Sharks by a goal. Whitby on the power play as they try and tie this game. Belk can't get it. Put out front. One-timer stopped by Sador. Rebound Key. Back to the point MacTell. She'll take a shot. Blockered away by Sador. Rebound comes to Key. Her chance. Stopped by Sador. Rebound stopped again. Puck goes to the corner. Here's Meta. Trying to clear. And she will. Sharks will sneak a change. 7 able to get off. Behind the net, Mally Winter's the first one there, trying to kill the clock. Winter gets free, trying to put it out front. Sent into the boards by Key. Winter taken down. Whitby able to get it free. 25 seconds to go. One final chance here for the Wolves. Up the wing. Here comes Petit. She'll bring it into the zone. Just offside. 17 seconds to go. Face off right in front of the Shark bench. Too late to put Davidson back in. So 6 skaters remain out for Whitby, trying to get it into the zone. Netta trying to pin it off. Whitby able to get it back. Here's Murray. Across for Basso. 10 seconds to go. One final chance for the Wolves. Basso gets free, but she's not coming into the zone. Now she'll come in. 4 seconds to go. Basso a shot over top of Sador. One final chance for MacTell. She'll send it to the net. Blocked by Keller. And the Barrie Sharks will take this game by a score of 1-0. It got tight at the end with the power play, but the Sharks are able to kill it off for 1:45 there and head into the Christmas break with a record of 18-9-0 and on a 3-game win streak. Sadie France, the only goal. Ava Sador, fantastic in that. A couple huge saves to win the game for the Sharks. For Whitby, now 2 straight losses for them. They've lost 3 of 4. They'll regroup during the break. They have a January 3rd matchup against the Durham West Lightning. For the Sharks, they are off until January 3rd when they will play a back-to-back down in Oakville and then hosting the Brampton Canadettes. So that will do it here today from the East Bayfield Community Center. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who was able to tune in, and a very happy holidays. For Kingsley McPherson, my name is Josh McCann, saying so long, and we'll see you in the new year.